This is the other very important part of your VPF visa application, and that is proof that you and your spouse share a life together. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Molly Sabrier, and today we're going to be talking about something that you guys have been requesting for a long time, which is how to get the VPF visa for France, the Vie Privée et Familiale, which essentially is the visa that you can get once you are married to a French national. Now, I've got some notes here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm referencing, but I'm going to go through my own experiences getting this visa, and then also going to include some really detailed step-by-step instructions so that you can go on to apply for this visa yourself if you are in the correct situation. So VPF at its core is a visa that is for people who have strong personal ties to France, in other words, a French spouse. So you can apply for this visa if you are married to a French person, your spouse is currently living in France, or you intend to live in France together. You can prove that your marriage is actually legitimate. It's not a mariage blanc, which is, if you're from the United States, basically the same exact thing as a green card wedding. You have to be in a legitimate relationship in order to be approved. And you also need to meet some basic accommodation and financial requirements. Now, I'm going to be talking about this visa from my experience as a married person. You technically can also get this visa if you are paxed with a French person, but I don't really know the details of that, so I'm not going to speak on it. I'm going to be speaking from my own personal experiences as someone who is married to a French person. So we're going to begin by explaining where you can apply, and now this changes obviously if you are applying from outside of France or you are applying from within France. If you're outside of France, you're going to begin as you would with any French visa, is you're going to do all of the online application, and then you're going to go to the actual French consulate nearest to you and apply in person, have your interview in person there. And then once you arrive in France, again, like any visa for France, you're going to want to validate the visa once you get there. And once you renew that visa, once the first year is up, you'll get an actual carte de séjour, un titre de séjour. Initially, that visa is going to be just like any other first French visa. It's going to be a sticker right in your passport. Now, if you're already legally in France, you may be on a student visa, maybe you have a work visa, a visitor visa, something like that, you're going to want to do a changement de statut at your local prefecture. And in that case, you'll get that titre de séjour, the carte de séjour, right away. Like any other French visa, you're going to have to gather a ton of documents in order to prove that you qualify for the VPF visa. Now, I'm going to be reading from my list. I wrote everything down so I don't miss anything, so that's why you see me reading here from my computer. So first, you're going to need your valid passport. Make sure it will not expire within 6 months. That's something that people can kind of trip people up and maybe make the process go a little bit longer. You forget to check when your passport is going to expire. You go to apply and they'll actually turn you down if your passport is going to expire within 6 months. So that's very important. Second, perhaps the most important document, if you've been watching any of our videos here on Tape, you know that both Steven and I kind of reference this one very important document for each visa. If you're a student, it's your acceptance letter to school. If you're going for the profession libérale, it's, your business plan. So for the VPF visa, as you can imagine, it is your acte du mariage, marriage certificate, and it needs to be issued within 3 months. As you may or may not know, in France, very unlike the United States, when you need to present an official document, so that could be your marriage certificate, it could be your birth certificate, you need to make sure it's a recent copy. So that means the town hall where you were married, where you were born, they need to reissue the document essentially and date it so it has that date that proves that it was issued within 3 months. You also, of course, need your spouse's French passport. And then this is the other very important part of your VPF visa application, and that is proof that you and your spouse share a life together. This is a question that has come up on our website, in consultations that I've done on this visa. People want to know if they can apply for the VPF visa immediately after getting married, and the answer is no. You need to be able to prove that you have been living together, sharing a life with your French spouse for at least 6 months and before you can actually go on and apply for this VPF visa. Now, that may be different for those of you who are applying outside of France. I'm speaking from experience from when I applied within France and I had to do a changement de statut. If you have questions, more specific questions about how to apply outside of France, I'm more than happy to look into it a little bit more on my side and answer those questions in the comments, so be sure to leave a comment below if you are wondering the details on that. So your proof of your shared life could include joint lease, joint bank account, utility bills, mail sent to the same address, photos together, proof that you've taken trips together, so like airplane tickets, train tickets with your names and you were going to the same place on the same date. I found that basically like mail proving that we were living at the same address was enough. They didn't really ask me to show any photos, but as with any sort of French administration thing, it's much better to arrive at the appointment over-prepared than under-prepared. So I recommend you do bring photos. I know people who have had friends and family write out letters like saying that, yes, this is a true couple. I like attest sur mon honneur that this is a true couple. You can feel free to gather that sort of information too if you think you'll need it. Again, I wasn't asked for any of that sort of extra stuff. The utility bills, our bank statements, that sort of thing was enough, but you honestly just never know what they're gonna ask you for in these meetings. You also need to prove that you have somewhere to live. So this can again be a joint lease statement if both of your names are on the lease. If your name happens to not be on the lease but your French spouse's is, you'll have to like print that out and have your spouse write an attestation d'hébergement and include another copy of their French passport in there to prove that they are like housing you as your spouse. And in terms of financials, there actually isn't really a strict you need to prove that you have a certain amount of money sort of deal with the VPF visa. Honestly, this visa is one of the easier ones to have because if you can prove that you just have this legitimate marriage with this French person, France is not in the business of wanting to split families up. So even if you don't really have a job or you don't have a very well-paying job, they're not going to look at you and say, oh, well, because you don't make money, you can't live with your French spouse. You can't live with your French spouse in France. But they do want to see that you have a bank account. They want to see that at least your spouse has a bank account and that your spouse is bringing in money. Again, there's no hard and fast rule on how much money you have to prove that you have. And even me thinking back, I think just our bank statements were enough, like showing that we had money. But again, it's always better to have extra. So I would encourage the French national, the French citizen in the relationship to be prepared to show, pay stubs, bank statements, that sort of thing. Now, again, I'm speaking from personal experience. When I got this visa, I was already living in France. I was just switching actually from my APS visa into my spouse visa, the VPF visa. If you guys want more information on how to apply from outside of France, maybe I'll do a part 2 of this video and get a little bit more specific in that way. But speaking from how I did it, I was already within France, so I'm just gonna go through the step-by-step procedure that I followed when I was applying for this visa. So because you're doing a changement de statut, you don't have to technically wait until your visa is about to expire. The general rule when doing a visa renewal is you have to wait until 3 months before that said visa will expire in order to start the whole renewal process. Again, because this is a changement de statut, you can do this whenever you want. Or if your visa is about to expire, make sure you do it within that 3-month period. But all you're going to do is go online to your local prefecture and you're going to find the area where you can book an appointment. And within that area, you can kind of choose between renewal, changement de statut. It really kind of depends on each prefecture. They're all different all across France. Again, if you have more specific questions and you're not really sure, comment below and I will help out as many people as I can in the comments. But for me, I had to do a changement de statut and I remember that I was able to select that option when I was booking my appointment. Once the appointment is booked, that's when you have to prepare your dossier with all of the information that I just listed off, all of those documents. So your passport, your French spouse's passport, your acte de mariage, your proof of life in common, all of that good stuff. As with any sort of French administrative appointment, make sure you bring the originals and copies of everything. Again, sometimes they ask you for copies, sometimes they do not. You just really never know. It's always better to come prepared. You're gonna wanna pay that tax stamp, which is the timbre fiscal. And for the VPF, at the time of recording, it's around like 225 euros. That may change if you're watching this recording at a later date, but as of right now, it's about 225 euros. You can pay for these timbres. I remember when I was first doing all of the rigmarole of all of my French visas, I had to actually go to a tabac to buy these like in person, but these days you can buy them all online. If you just Google acheter timbre fiscal, you'll be brought to a website where you can buy these, and then you're just going to want to print those out. Go to your appointment with your French spouse. They're going to need to be there to show their passport. It's also just better for them to come with you to, again, show the prefecture, the person who's working there, that like, yes, we are a real couple. This is a real marriage. To me, it's very normal that a spouse would come to you for an important appointment like that. So make sure they come with you. You'll also have a much better experience in general bringing a French person to these sorts of appointments. That's kind of like a hot tip from here. That's kind of like a hot tip from taip. When you can, and you have an appointment at the prefecture, at the bank, at the doctor, anything like that, bring a French person with you. As a foreigner, you will get treated so much better. Once you have your appointment and you show all of the information to the person, honestly, I remember for mine, they really just asked for all of the documents. They didn't really like interview us to see if we were a real couple. They just trusted that we were, I think, by the way that we were interacting with each other. All of our paperwork was very legitimate. It was kind of like a repeat of the interview that we had with the town hall when we were even like getting married. Try to act yourself, act natural, don't be nervous. You know, you're not kind of being put on trial here. You're really just there to present all of your paperwork, to make sure that all of the boxes are checked, so that when someone else behind the scenes, you won't see them going through all of your paperwork like with a fine-tooth comb, but so that they make sure that that person who's going to be going through your dossier has everything that they will need in order to make a decision. At the end of that appointment, you will get your récépissé. Now with that, you have the right to live and work in France and travel outside of France, so hold on to that. Take a picture of it if you need to. That's something good to know, that if you want to start working right away under this visa, you can use that récépissé to prove to an employer that you have the right to live and work in France. And then if all goes well, you'll be able to pick up your brand new VPF visa. Couple weeks, couple months, it honestly really depends. Normally a récépissé is good for 3 months, so I never found that I had to wait that long to have my decision and to go and pick up my card, but you just never know. It really depends where you're applying, if it's a busy prefecture, if it's a busy time of year. You really can't predict that. Now, if all of the paperwork in your dossier is legitimate, if you are in a legitimate relationship, there's no reason for you to get denied this visa. Honestly, again, France is not in the business of splitting families up, of separating people. So that's what makes this one of the easier visas to obtain if you are in a legitimate relationship with a French person. Here at taip, we kind of call the VPF visa this sort of golden ticket visa. It's almost as good as being a citizen. With this visa, the only thing that you cannot do that a citizen could do is vote. With the VPF visa, you can work anywhere you want. You can do whatever you want for work. So whether you want to open your own business or you want to get more of a contracted job, so a CDD or un CDI, you can do any of that. You can go to school. You'll of course have access to the healthcare system. And this visa also can build towards a 10-year residency card or beyond that French nationality. Now, I personally only had this visa for 1 year because after that 1 year was up, my husband and I actually moved back to the United States to get him a green card and start working towards his American nationality. But interestingly enough, in March of this year, I will be married for 5 years so that I will be able to apply for French nationality from the United States, which is very exciting. I will of course take you guys along on the journey with me and share everything I learn along the way, how to get French nationality through marriage. That's kind of the next segment of this series I'm doing on marriage, getting married in France, being married to a French person, getting the VPF visa. So I hope everything was clear as usual. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Send it to anyone else who you think may benefit from it. Thanks again for watching, and as always, see you soon et à bientôt!